last week. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Henry, and welcome everyone. Glad to have you here. We will continue from where we stopped off on last time so that we're not going over the same slides all the time, and it's helping you to at least learn a bit more and more when it comes to fountain of life. So I'm just going to do a quick check in the chat to make sure there's no questions here. Welcome, Annette. Welcome, everyone. So just a quick reminder, please put your questions in the Q&A and we'll read it out and have it answered for you. Try not to put it in the chat, but if you do, we'll make sure to find it and read it out for you. If you have a testimonial to share, please make sure to put your hands up. I will unmute you. Once again, please pardon me and excuse the background noise. I don't have a choice. I'm in the cafe right now, making sure I host the call on time. So let's continue. So Henry, good morning and welcome. And we are talking about lymphoma fat tissue tumor that came out in 12 days of topical use of fountain of life. I just want to give a quick disclaimer before we continue. The fountain of life is not a cure for any sickness or ailments, just powerful antioxidants that basically works along with your body. And it's just basically taking whether it's 10 or 20 drops under your tongue daily, and you go about your way. It's that easy, it's that simple. And you can also use it internally and use it topically. So Henry, I will mute off as I allow you a chance to explain this condition and how it has worked for this person in this 12 days of topical use.
Yeah, the fountain of life works on almost any imperfections on the topical area where the fountain of life can reach. So it works on pimples, it works on fatty pockets, it works on fungus nails. It could be a mold. Some people, they rub it on a mold or on some kind of even skin cancer tissues. Some people, they just apply directly on it. But taking it orally inside, it's going to help from inside out. So if you have any imperfection on the skin, even age spot, you can apply it on. So if there's anything, inflammation or whatever inside, you can rub it on so it will work on it directly from top of the skin. It helps it to kind of mature faster and then get out of the tissue better. Thank you.
Thank you, Henry. As we were on the topic of putting it topically, I had a question in the past week. Someone asked if the fountain of life can help with wrinkles.
Yes,
they can apply it on their face and they can help with like black lines or wrinkles. If it's safe to use around the eyes, just a confirmation on that, please.
Yeah, around the eyes, usually we advise to use around the eyes instead of directly in the eyes. In the eyes, some people use diluted water spray, clean water spray to help with the eyes. But when you apply directly in the eyes, it will be more, there is some irritation. Some people find a little thin. It doesn't really hurt you, but it's probably a better idea just to apply it around the eyes and on the wrinkles as well.
Okay, so great. So maybe around the mouth area. Sorry, I just was trying to mute and unmute. So around the mouth area where there's lines, they're able to just apply it there and rub it in, and it will really help to even out that area.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. We have another testimonial here shared by a cancer patient that was suffering from exhaustion and had no energy, no more enthusiasm in life. After 5 days of taking fountain of life, her energy has returned, starting to have a wonderful sleep at night, and there were no more muscle cramping. Literally brought her back to life, brought her back from the grave, as she put it. So please explain how this has helped her in such a fast time, knowing that she's been dealing with all these issues.
Well, the fountain of life usually works on the symptoms first, like let's say the energy, the sleep, pain level, cramps. These are the things that can improve faster. So they let's say they have cancer, something in the body. It's going to take quite some time to work on that. So it's harder to see the tumor shrinking or anything like that. But to have some improvement in the body energy, sleep, pain level, all these things can improve faster. Could be in a matter of days, matter of hours, even certain things. So it is quite possible for certain things to improve first.
Okay, wonderful, Henry. Thank you so much. So we have this game changer, the Singapore testimonial, where the stage 3 colon cancer champion, she basically found new life within weeks, 3 months of taking Fountain of Life. Maybe if we can focus a little on, and there's a question in the Q&A, I'm just going to that. Henry, when it comes to the stage 3 colon cancer and how Fountain of Life has worked to target that area.
Yes, and this is quite possible when the Fountain of Life helps the body in general to gain energy and gain power to eat, because a lot of people in the stage 3, they usually do chemo, they do a lot of treatment, and their body is kind of weakened, so they are not able to eat properly, to sleep well. So they feel weak and tired, but by taking the Fountain of Life, they feel the energy return, the power to digest the food. That's where your healing starts, because if you don't eat properly, sleep well, then your body cannot really recuperate. So when she starts taking the Fountain of Life, it helps her to gain more positive energy in the body. So that's why she found that she was able to avoid the blood transfusion that she had to do all the time before. Now she's doing better in that. And then like a year or two later, she said she was cancer free. So that was a very good progress after she was able to achieve. After the first 3 months, that she continued to progress. So that's something we like to see. We don't want people to just to do a testimony and then something happened and then it turned for the worse. So we love the fact that we continue to see good results for these people.
Right, absolutely. So we have here from Teresa says, a friend with lupus started on her for well on Sunday. That Sunday evening, she used the drop and rub it on her joint, and it instantly worked awesomely for her. And yesterday evening, she called and said she had used 2 drops sublingually, but she's experiencing headache, gas, and bloating. Should she continue to use it?
Yes, sometimes a little up and down is understandable. The body is trying to make adjustments. Sometimes we call them healing crisis. So when they started using it, she might just 1 drop rubbed on her joints and instantly worked awesome for her. Then yesterday, okay. So yeah, she would have to continue to try to use a different dosage, sometimes higher, sometimes lower. They will have to have some kind of a adjustment of the dosage to find the best way the body can absorb it.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Yes, very nice. Yes. Okay, thank you, Henry, for answering that. And we have a question in the chat that says, how it can help with current flu epidemic, colds, for instance, where you don't have a fever.
Fever is usually the body is fighting harder, or there is a more deeper or serious infection in the body. then you have a fever. When you don't have a fever, it means it didn't go so deep into your body. Your body doesn't have to fight so hard in order to recover. So the Fountain of Life would be able to help to control the infection. When a cold attack your body, the virus or cold flu virus or whatever, you catch a cold, it usually affects your nose, your sinusitis, your nose, your throat, so they get inflamed. And the Fountain of Life is a direct application on those areas. When you take them orally, we rub it on your nose. So usually in this case, we use more intensively. So with the cold, you use it every 1 hour. Some people take a half a dropper every 1 or every other hour. So for a couple of days, 3 days, they feel the relief and get better faster.
Wonderful, Henry. Thank you so much. I was just actually looking for the bottle here. And one of the things that I've learned very recently that I shared on the last call is the fact that when having a cold or congestion or just feeling like, the flu is attacking, I take a few drops and I'm actually rubbing it on my chest and my back. I do it with my girls also. And I find that it works so well in helping that. Sometimes you go to bed and you feel that kind of congestion. You wake up in the morning after putting on a few drops of Fountain of Life, and it's really cleared up that area. And especially putting it on the chest and the back, I find that it helps so well. So I just wanted to share that also for one of the things that we're constantly experiencing when it comes to Fountain of Life. Amazing. So Henry, we're at another slide that we're talking about 30 drops by 2 by 2 and save the leg from amputation. How is it the Fountain of Life is working so well when it comes to this? Because it says August 7th, 2019, cast was removed when the person was discharged from the hospital after 26 days. This is someone who had already made arrangements to have amputation done on their foot or their leg, as they put it. And here is it that it says being called off, and the wound is starting to heal because of these amazing drops. So I'll pass it on to you to explain a bit about it and how it has worked for them, please.
The diabetes feed is usually because of the blood flow doesn't go into the feed anymore, and that's why it's causing all this decay and everything. So when they take the Fountain of Life orally inside, it's actually helping the body to be able to drive the blood more to the extremities, to the feet, so that they start to heal, to see some healing, some change for the better. So they decided to postpone that, and later on they just get better and better. So this is a good example of how the Fountain of Life can increase the blood flow, the circulation, and it helps the people who have diabetes to do much better.
Incredible. Thank you so much for explaining that, Henry. And here we have diabetic wound closing and healing fast. Make sure that my note is off, okay? Uncle William's sugar level went from what was 13 in May 21, in June 21 went down to 5.2 to 5.1 to 4.9. Application 10 drops twice a day, but they will advise to more drop can be ingested or applied onto the wound. So I'll pass it back on to you when it comes to this diabetic wound and healing so fast after using Fountain of Life.
This is actually very typical in the time frame. You see, May 2021 to June of that's in 1 month. The sugar went down. So what the Fountain of Life is doing is it helps to cleanse and improve the function of the liver. The liver is the reservoir or regulator or modulator in the body for sugar level. Because when the excessive sugar is not being used by cells right away, actually compound into complex form of sugar and storage in the liver until the body needs more sugar to run So that way, the liver is the one that holds the sugar until the body needs it again, and then it will release it to the bloodstream, and then help you to keep a good balance of sugar level. So that's when you take the Fountain Life, it helps to control the sugar level at a more normal range. That is why this is helping, and then it helps with the healing of the wounds.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Henry. We have Linda in the Q&A saying, hello, I am Linda. I have a question. I am in hospital right now, and my neighbor is suffering from lung cancer and one lung collapsed. The problem started with spinal cord. Then she said, then it radiates to the lungs. She is on oxygen, morphine. I didn't ask other drugs. She has chemotherapy chemotherapy in 2019, and now is coughing frequently. Can you address this question, please? And said, is she palliative? So is this Fountain of Life going to help her? Is the Fountain of Life going to help her? Sorry, the message was a little bit choppy for me here.
Yeah, there's always a chance to help her even in this situation. So there's nothing to lose at this point to try it. And usually a higher dose is more advisable. See how much her body can handle. We hope for the miracles. We hope for something good to happen if she can continue to try it.
You're saying it's okay for her to give the neighbor that's in the hospital right now, Fountain of Life. And maybe if you could share, Henry, how many drops that she should offer that neighbor.
She could,
or that person.
Yeah, usually she could use probably like 60, 90, or even 120 drops. Because at this stage, you have to fight with time. Too little is too little, too late. So just use as much as she can manage, probably 100, 120 drops a day to see how her body does with it.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Henry. Hope that answers your question there. And we have Dorothy hand is asking, would it help with poor circulation? How much to use?
Yeah, the circulation, we have been talking about diabetes. This is all about blood circulation. So when the Fountain of Life warm up the body, increase the blood flow, increase the quantity of the blood in the body by strengthening the digestive system, then we can help to improve the blood circulation. That's why a lot of people, they find the cold hands and feet are improving. This is very typical that the blood circulation is improving. And some people use it to clear the blood clots in the lungs, in the legs, and in different parts of the body. So it is helpful for blood circulation.
And Henry, I just wanted to add to that. Forever in my life, I've always had, they call me ice feet in the family because I have basically ice feet. Sitting next to anyone or whatever, my foot touch them, they're just like, they scream out, right? They can't handle it, how ice cold my feet usually is. And imagine I was born in Guyana, growing up in Guyana, somewhere that is so very hot, and you're having ice feet then. And then I realized it was it's a circulation problem because after using Fountain of Life, I don't have that issue anymore, which, I only found out a couple of years ago because I've been using Fountain of Life a bit over 5 years. And I just want to add that to Dorothy's question because I found for me, when it comes to, I don't have the ice feet anymore. So I'm not known as ice feet in the family. So the fact that it has helped with the blood circulation. So it's amazing how it helps how Fountain of Life helps in, so many different ways. So I just wanted to add that as part of one of my testimonials.
Thank you.
Thank you, Henry. All right, so we've talked about amputation, and I know you had discussed it on the previous slide, so we'll try to move to something a bit different. So let's talk about Aguato Toto from Mombasa, that is talking about his cousin who was suffering from prostate complication for 10 years. Expensive surgery was scheduled 15 times a night to the toilet. First night with FOL, half a drop for 20 drops, 5 times to the toilet. Dirty urine in the morning was cleared up. The next day, half a drop for 2 times and 1 time to the toilet. Another day of FOL. Energy has returned, eating and sleeping better. So again, I'll pass this over to you, Henry, as we can talk about how Fountain of Life has worked for him. So I'll just read before I pass it on to you to add. It says that I'm so excited about the power of Fountain of Life. My cousin has been suffering from prostate complication for 10 years. He traveled recently, buried his elder brother, and on his way back, his doctor recommended that emergency operation. We started the fundraising since we needed half a million to push urgently. I guess that's in their currency. And I told him to get FOL and give half a dropper that evening. In the morning, he told me he slept. He visited the washroom only 5 times instead of up to 15 times in the night, and his urine is cleared up. This morning, he is also taking half a dropper, and I am so happy. I told him that we might avoid surgery. Friends FOL work, miracles, let's share and share. So would you like to add anything to this, Henry?
Yes, we have seen numerous cases like this where the prostate is cutting off the urine flow. So that's why they go to the washroom for urine flow multiple times a night or in the daytime. They come to, and the problem is when they have a swelling, inflamed, or even with a cancerous prostate, it kind of squeeze and cut off the urine flow in the urethra, the passageway, so that it will hold more urine in the bladder. So they always feel the pressure to go, but each time they go, they don't empty the urine. So every time the doctor, when they do a checkup in the hospital, they usually make you go to washroom to measure your urine retention, how much percentage is being left in the bladder, because the prostate, the swelling bladder, the swelling prostate usually cuts off the flow when the pressure is not as much. So you stop and then hold the urine for the next round. So that's why he always wants to go, but every time he goes, he would be only pee so much. And so with the Fountain of Life, it helps to release the inflammation, the swelling, and the size, reduce the size of the prostate to a more normal range. Then the urine flow can free more freely. That's why he is improving to that way. Actually, 5 times is still too much for my imagination. 5 times is still too much. He needs to reduce it to like 1 time a night would be more normal for people of this age range. So it's I'm pretty sure after he uses it for more time, he will reduce it to even less frequency to probably 1 time a night or even less.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for that great explanation, Henry, because I was going to ask the question, but you answered it. I was going to ask, like, why is it that persons feel that they have to go to the washroom so often, and what really caused that issue? But you've already addressed it. So I will move on, and we can talk about this blood and skin issues that improved just after 2 days of taking Fountain of Life. This customer from April 22 started Fountain of Life. You can see her photos 2 days later, April 24th, and final pictures on May 11th. Unfortunately, we don't know the issue with her skin, She didn't want to go to the doctor or the hospital. However, it was remarkable. Can you please explain this skin issue, Henry?
Yeah, so the problem is inside from the blood vessels. So the blood vessels, when they're inflamed, they become permeable. So the blood started to seep through the blood vessels into the tissues. So she could visibly see blood in the tissues. And that's because of the inflammation in the blood vessels in the lower body, like from the waist down. She has it all like that, much brighter red. This is after a few days when she actually started to improve. So when she takes the Fountain of Life, it helps to reduce the inflammation in the blood vessels. So the blood vessels started to seal up the permeation of the blood into the tissues. So the body starts to absorb the excessive blood in the tissues through the lymphatic system. It'll get drained, and then the color of the skin come back to normal. So again, the Fountain of Life is a great way to fight inflammation, whether it's in the blood vessels or whether it's in the tissues, in the joints. It helps to reduce the inflammation. Thank you.
Thank you, Henry. Henry, is this something that's life-threatening or just something that happens because of, I guess, how the bloodstream works?
We usually trace it back to the stomach, spleen, and the spleen digestive system. We also call it the spleen is the one that's keeping the blood in the blood vessels. So when the body is loosening up on that, they are not doing well with the body organs. It all traced back to the major organ system functions. When you lose that power, you started to lose grip on the body. So eventually things like this start to happen. So when we improve the body function in general, especially in the organs, when we strengthen them, make them do the work they are supposed to do, then they start to function better, and then these kind of things can improve. So each symptom is a symptom, but the root cause is always in the organs, in the major system. When they are not working properly, they cause such a problem.
Oh, okay, thank you, Henry. I just wanted to add, back home they would call this lab blood. That's just the way that it was explained. So that's why I wanted for you to give a detailed explanation for me personally to understand also. So thank you so much. All right, so we have here years of chronic skin infection gone within 2 weeks. I've struggled with chronic dry skin and skin infection for several years. Application consume 5 drops every day and night. After a while, for 2 weeks, skin infection all gone. Thanks, Miss Winnie. I'll just let you add to that for topical use, Henry.
Yeah, it's again the inflammation. So if we reduce the inflammation, the skin of the color of the skin just goes back to a more normal situation.
Okay,
are you in a Team Horton, or where are you now?
I'm in the coffee culture in Oshawa. I usually have to bring my daughter to university, and parking is a bit rough around the area. So that's why I have to do the call here. I apologize.
That's why I can hear some some
noise at the back.
Kind of noise. Yeah.
Yes, that's why I keep muting. Yes, I apologize on that. This is the next topical use of Fountain of Life. We're talking about nasty, itchy, and rash on lady's hand, and nothing can get rid of it. Just 5 days of taking Fountain of Life, only 2 drops directly on the area did wonders for her. So I know Henry have already explained on a few slides already how using Fountain of Life topically will help when it comes to healing rashes and itches and skin irritations. So we'll try to move on a bit to another topical use of Fountain of Life. My friend really didn't want to consume, but been applying all over her face and also on her feet, wherever there was a problem. If she would also consume, the result would have been faster. as in my friend Grace's father, he is bleeding from constant scratching. He is around 89 years old, just consumed 3 times a day, half a dropper and apply. Skin improved tremendously within days, but refuses to let the friend take pictures. So just wanted to share some pictures with you, 3 weeks after a Powell, and also you also have 5 weeks after a Powell. This is amazing how the pictures of the also speaks for itself. And I love the fact that they took the before and they also took, the after pictures. So let's move forward. I just wanted to add, ladies and gentlemen, it's already 8:32. So if you have questions, please put it in the Q&A. And if you'd like to share a testimonial or ask the questions live, please put your hands up and I will unmute you. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're talking about shingles, which is skin disease by the Chinese term. Application, took half a dropper, which is about 20 drops each day, drank lots of water. And they also mix the spray with Fountain of Life with water, which is about 30 ml of water and 10 drops of Fountain of Life. And they basically sprayed it on the blister every half an hour. At night, apply very flawless night serum onto the rash. Full recovery after 8 days. Normal recovery may take up to 2 weeks or longer. The doctor's lotion painkillers give no relief. And returned to the doctor on the 5th day, and the doctor was amazed by the recovery. So I'll pass it back to you, Henry. We really talk about shingles and how Fountain of Life is working for that and help this person in such a short period of time.
Yeah, shingles usually attack the nerves, attack the tissue, so it makes it inflamed. And first of all, the Fountain of Life is good for dealing with inflammation, but it also helps to fight off virus, improve the immune system function, so it fights off it much faster. So they take it orally inside, but it also helpful to use the topical use of the Fountain of Life on the direct affected area as well. So that's why they heal faster than normal.
Okay, wonderful. Quick question to that, Henry. Would it be healing faster if the person had just put FOL, just FOL drops instead of mixing it with water?
Yeah, I think it's better. Yeah, it's better. I think it's more concentrated if they apply directly on the skin. Sometimes the water they have to use clean water because open wounds they need clean water. Probably distilled water or filtered water that's cleaner. It's better for. But yeah, using the drops probably better. Just use it undiluted.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Large area. If it's a large area, then they might have to spray it.
Sorry, Henry, what did you say? If it's a what area?
If it's a larger area,
a larger area. Okay.
It might be easier to spray it.
Okay, wonderful. We have for stomach, bloatiness, liver, lung, and colon disorder. Liver, lung, and colon infection causing water retention in body, resulting whole body to be swollen. Stomach bloated with water retention, difficulty moving and breathing, no energy, can doze off every 2 minutes. And you can see here the after photo. 2 droppers, which is about 60 drops a day over 2 months. Fluid in the body released slowly over 8 months, means liver, lung, colon beginning to function properly. Lost weight from 270 to 163. That's a loss of 107 pounds, which is really not easy for anyone to do. And also the waist went from 44 to 32. That's 17 inches lost. And better mood, breathing better, and energy has returned. So I'll just pass it over to Henry for you to explain before we take the next question. How does Fountain of Life help so well when it comes to, as we're seeing so much issue here, stomach bloatiness, which helps with the liver, lung, and the colon at the same time?
Again, it's an infection. So when the Fountain Life reduces the inflammation, it helps the source of the bloated stomach, because the swelling is coming from the accumulation of fluid in the body, and the fluid is coming from the infection in the liver. So when they reduce the inflammation, the source of the fluid building up is taken away, and the body can slowly absorb it, and then it releases the water or the fluid in the body. So then they dramatically reduce the weight, because most of the weight is more like a fluid. So when the fluid source is gone, then it helps you to reduce it to a more normal range of weight. So that's why the waistline dropped from 44 inches to 32 inches.
So most of that weight they were carrying was just water weight.
Yes.
To clarify. Oh, wow. Okay. So Henry, I have a question in the Q&A. If you can take this one, please. Can you see the question in the Q&A?
Esophagus is closing and somehow like used. Esophagus closes usually because of the acid reflux and stuff like that cause the erosion of the lining of the esophagus, so that it starts to swell, and people have difficulty swallowing. And this again, the Fountain Life helps to reduce the inflammation. So when you reduce the inflammation, it kind of reduces the swelling surface of the esophagus, so it will start to open up. Yes, they can use it, and then they can use it for probably about 30 to 60 drops a day. That would be more like a therapeutic dosage.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Henry. So I'm going to ask, it's a question, how much FOL should be consumed if a patient had triple bypass operation? And that's the first question. Question 2, I consumed 30 drops morning, evening from a month ago. I started sweating, and the water runs down my face, and my head gets wet. Even the body. I know sweating is a form of I guess you meant detoxing. Needed confirmation, please. Thank you.
The bypass is usually a blood quality issue, so they have blood clots in the coronary arteries. So they need usually it's in the heart, so they have to reduce the blockage in the coronary arteries. So if they take enough of Fountain Life, it should help them to reduce the blood clots, so that they will avoid future bypasses. So it's a good idea to use it. And if you consume 30 drops morning and evening from a month ago, well, it's the Fountain Life is helping you to improve the circulation. So it's possible that it will bring some warmth to the body, so that you feel a little sweaty. I think over time you will be able to get over that. So it just takes probably about 2-3 weeks to be able to slow down on that. You might not be feeling that for long. You should be able to feel more normal after another maybe 2-3 weeks. If the symptom or the problem continue to be like that, then you might want to probably reduce the dose a little bit to maybe 30 drops a day.
Okay, wonderful. I hope that answers your question, Emily. We will move forward as Henry, sometimes I would skip the slides. It's just that Henry has touched a lot on those topics. So we would just want to move forward so that we can probably address something that is so I would like to learn a bit more about, but we have another question in chat says, please send the recording. Yes, yeah, you can have the recording. It's always posted in our Opulence group chat, posted by probably tomorrow. So the recording is always available. So let's talk about the scar healing so well. Another amazing testimony by one of our partners. He had lung cancer and they took out the lymph nodes and from his neck, and so that it does not spread. The surgery was done 18 months ago. I was introduced to him by one of our partners, Ralph, and we introduced Fountain of Life to him. He joined us right away and started consuming and applying on the scar. We have been taking it for the past 15 months. Look at the scar, it's almost clear, amazing changes. He applies twice a day. Henry, for a scar like this, I mean, it's not that it's a cut, fresh cut. We've explained a lot applying topically how it works for that, but for a scar like this, maybe if you can talk a little bit on how it does work.
Well, when you take, we apply the Fountain of Life directly on the cuts, wounds. It helped the skin to heal better, faster, without complications of the inflammation or infection, so that it will heal more properly. And probably the Fountain of Life seems to know where the skin is supposed to be. They try to restore the original the tissues back to normal. So it helps to heal better, faster, and it helps to leave less scar tissue in the skin.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Henry. And again, we've talked about applying Fountain of Life on cuts or bruises and how well it has healed. As you can see here, Mandrella had a very bad cut opening at the middle pan. Most of us get very bad cuts. Those ends are very sharp. As we're on this, I would just talk quickly about the situation I had where I cut across the whole area here with a vase that broke. I grabbed the vase, but when I grabbed the broken part. So it happened so fast. So what I did, I kind of sliced through, these 3 fingers on this fleshy part of my hand, and applying Fountain of Life. I'm talking and relating to the slide right now. I apply Fountain of Life, and I did that twice a day. I cleaned the area and redressed it with Fountain of Life again. And I noticed by the second day, the wound was already healing. Usually when you have bad cuts like that, you usually have to go to the emergency to make sure that you get stitches and all of that. And it probably takes longer to heal. But the Fountain of Life, I find that it not only disinfects the area, but it also heals it and seals back the skin very fast. And I'm always proud to share that testimonial because of the fact that I don't have a scar on my hand. And who wants to have scars anyway, right? So it's great that it can help with that. Okay, so let's talk about gout. So shared by Mr. O'Neilly, our amazing met a gentleman this morning who had gout in his ankle and was in pain and inflamed. We put 4 drops on it and they rub it into the area. After 30 minutes, his pain was gone and inflammation almost gone. Thanks, Love FOL. And they said again here, basically 4 drops, rub it in. 30 minutes later, the pain gone and the swelling has subsided. I'll pass it back to Henry quickly to answer how Fountain of Life works when it comes to, especially in gout. A lot of people are suffering from that, and it is working just by applying topically.
Yeah, this this particular case, he applied directly on the affected area, so it helped to reduce the swelling in the ankle. But more importantly, he will have to take it orally inside in order for the body to improve on the kidney function to be able to filter out the uric acid in the body. That's where it's causing a problem. So when the kidney starts to improve its function, then it will be able to filter out the uric acid in the blood, so that it doesn't crystallize in the joints, and then eventually help to address the issue for long term. So short term, it's okay directly apply and then reduce the swelling. But importantly is they have to use it orally inside in order for the body to improve on the kidney function, and they will have more long-lasting results with that.
Henry, we have a partner, one of our partners that had mentioned, and I don't think we have it in the slide, but she had mentioned that when she said she loves seafood, but when she eats seafood, it always activates the gout. She always get gout after eating seafood, and swells up her feet so big. So I was kind of surprised with that because is there different things that triggers this issue, and is gout something just there in the system and certain things can activate it, or is there a possibility that you can get rid of it? It can go away by using Fountain of Life. Does it go away, or does it help temporarily with that situation? I guess I know I asked you like several questions all in one there, but when she was talking about seafood and it activated her gout. But after Fountain of Life, that the inflammation had went away. How did it work for that? And how with directing with seafood, gout, and Fountain of Life, how did it work for that?
Yeah, seafood and certain food, a lot other things like pops, like Coca-Cola, that kind of thing, actually aggravates the uric acid production in the body. It just contributes to the swelling, contributes to the aggravation of gout in the body. So they have to stay away from seafood, from things that cause this, like beer, like pops and things that cause this aggravation in the body until they are able to handle it. When the kidney function is improved, then they can handle better. They can probably go back to eat some seafood again. But before they fix it, they have to stay away from those foods.
Oh, okay, got it. So we're at the slide where Florence was talking about his weight loss. You can see some before and after photos. And on the daily, when we're talking about Fountain of Life and weight loss, so like if you can take some time, as we're almost 10 minutes to the hour, you can take some time and just explain about Fountain of Life and weight loss, how it triggers the weight loss, how it works along to activate that and help people to lose weight. I know a lot of times, a lot of people, especially on the call, or people that we're meeting daily, that constantly ask and wonder, how is Fountain of Life working when it comes to weight loss?
For people who would like to lose weight, they have to take enough dosage. Usually they have to take more than three pumps, 3 syringes, and that's the weight loss threshold. If they take too little, maybe 1 or 2, maybe even between 1 dropper, it might not be able to do that. So they have to take enough to metabolize the body, help to reduce any weakness in the thyroid function or in the mitochondrial function of the cells. So they have to start burning the fat from within the body, increase the metabolism in the body, and then they will be able to reduce some of the fat in the body, especially if it works on the liver. A lot of these people, they are overweight because their liver is fatty. When they have fatty liver, they don't break down the fat fast enough. So then continue to accumulate more fat in the body because the liver is not working properly to break down the fat. They are saturated with the fat themselves, so they are not able to function as a way to break down protein, break down fat in the body. So it just continue to accumulate and stay. Every 3,000 calories of food they eat, they can convert into 1 pound. Excessive unused calories in the body of 3,000 calories, they accumulate to 1 pound of body flesh. So we have to eat what our body can consume. Otherwise, the body continue to gain. So that's why when people want to lose weight, they either intermittent fast, or they don't eat as much. At the same time, try to increase the metabolism in the body, and we reduce the malfunction of the thyroid, and increase the detox of the liver. That way, they can reduce the weight more efficiently.
Wow, thank you so much, Henry, for explaining that in details. Also, a quick follow-up question. Should they be taking, you mentioned 3 full droppers of alpha-1 that they should be taking. Do they take that all at once, or can they split that up, like morning, midday, afternoon? Can they split the dosage? And is it effective to do that?
It's always better to spread it out so that the body gets a more constant supply of the Functional Life instead of one big lump. The one big lump would be more, but it might be, some of them get wasted, so they don't work enough in the body.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Henry. Sorry, I was just trying to get that. So this is the weight loss slide, everyone. You can find it in your back office. Like, you can take your time, you can read it, or you can always send it to the person that is inquiring about when it comes to weight loss. We are coming up close to the hour. We have 7 more minutes to go. So if anyone have any other questions, please put in the Q&A. If you'd like to share a live testimonial, you can raise your hands. I will unmute you. And you can also share it before we close the call. So here we have another testimonial where it says, excellent in relieving aches and pains. Is arthritis keeping you from living the life that you love? We can help. And again, I think Henry has touched a lot when it comes to inflammation and using Function of Life topically, how it has helped to target the area. So I will just move past that as and we'll come to burns as we're talking burn heals so well through application over 4 hours, and also with serious burn in 7 days. So Henry, I'll pass it on to you as I move my background so you can talk about how Function of Life helps now with burns. We've talked about how it has helped with cuts and bruises. How is it helping when it comes to burn in the healing process so fast? Because burn is, of course, different than comes to cuts, right? So if you can touch on that for a little bit.
Yeah, we have some people, when they have a burn, they immediately apply the Function of Life on it, and they apply it every 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, and then they even kept it from swelling up, like the blister. So, and then they don't even see it the next day. So it's the earlier, the faster you can apply it. So that's why it's always a good idea to have the Function of Life in your purse, in your pocket even. So whenever you have some case like that, you apply it first instant, and then you will help you to not to swell up as big, and then not to get infections. So you apply it, and then as I said, the skin can heal faster, and nose is the original texture or something that try to restore. So just always keep it handy in case something like this happens. And then you apply it as often as possible, because if you apply once and then leave it for the whole day, then it's not going to heal as fast. So if you have a burn like this, in the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you just apply every other minute, or 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You apply it so that it'll ease up the pains, and then it helps with the healing. So you don't get a big blister, or you don't get infection, so that it can heal faster.
When getting a burn, what causes on the photo of May 11 in the evening, what causes the skin to swell up like a bubble like that when getting a burn?
When you get a burn, the tissue is being, the deep tissue under the skin is being scorched. So it starts to ooze out the fluid, and the fluid it starts to build up, and then it just swells up like a blister. So you see, it's a fluid from the deep tissue, from the deep skin tissue, they start to build up. When the fluid builds up, it causes a blister. So that's why it's the faster you can apply the Fountain of Life on it, the faster it kind of stops the building up or the oozing of the fluid from underneath the skin. Then it helps to reduce it, and then it doesn't. If it doesn't burst, it's much easier to heal. When it bursts, then it will be exposed to skin, and then the skin has to heal. So it takes more time. So always apply the first second you had it, and then it always helps faster.
Okay, wonderful, Henry. Thanks for that explanation. We have our question here in the Q&A that Dorothy have asked. Can this work with bad allergy and sinus problem?
Yes, when we have yesterday, I was somehow sneezing, and then my friend told me, "Oh, apply the Fountain of Life on the nose," and I did, and they seem to have cut off the sneezing from that almost moment on. So it really kind of sip into your tissues, into your nose, even into the sinusitis area. If you just rub it on your nose from the topical, some people apply the inside, and they cause some more sneezing, but usually helps to heal faster if somebody, especially if they have sinusitis for many years or bad allergies. Any allergies in the nose is because of inflammation inside. So that's why when a cold draft or anything, dust or pollen can irritate, and that's why they are sneezing. So when you get rid of that inflammation, then the body doesn't react to cold or pollen or anything anymore. That's how you get rid of allergies. So using Fountain of Life topically and sometimes inside, they actually help the allergies to go away faster. But taking it orally inside is going to help the whole body as a unit and deal with allergies in general. A lot of people have allergies to peanuts and allergies to other things. So when they take the Fountain of Life, they actually help them to get over other allergies as well, besides the nose.
Okay, wonderful, Henry. Thank you so much for answering those questions. I would just like to ask one more question before we close the call. Just a minute ago, I don't see any other hands up in the chat or any other questions. I'm checking right now, but persons are always asking. One moment. And so I just have a question in the chat from Diana Chance. Can you use this on toddler who just sinus and what well yes, like I also know that we're not allowed to use on toddlers, right? And go ahead, Henry.
Yeah, as we always say, the company officially, we don't encourage the use of Fountain of Life on kids, especially toddlers. But it's up to the parents' discretionary decision whether they want to try it with a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 drops, and to more probably just rub on the nose or something. That should be an option by the parents.
Okay, wonderful. And another question from Annette in the chat says, can children use this? If so, from what age, please?
Again, it's the under 12 age restriction from the company website, the documents. So the parents have to make that decision whether they want to try it. But the company officially, they don't really encourage it.
Okay, wonderful.
Austin,
we have Austin. Yeah, sorry, Austin. Henry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Austin. I think you are.
Austin, you're unmuted. We've unmuted you. Go ahead and speak.
Go ahead,
Austin. Your hands is up, and I've unmuted you. You can go ahead and speak, please.
Austin, were you able to finish the payment sign up yesterday, or did it go through?
Hi, Drew.
Hey, Laura.
Hello, I'm here,
Hi,
Nora.
Henry.
Welcome. Good morning, Nora. Welcome.
Good morning. I just want to add to the question that what Henry was saying, to the question about how young. Yeah, like Henry said, the company itself, we don't recommend it to kids, the children. But the youngest I have given FOL was 1 month. Why I give it? Because the mother said she took because I said, take your daughter to the doctor. And because the nose was so plugged and the baby have a hard time breathing. And I was carrying the baby and it was like hard time breathing. But I know because it was plugged. And when I asked the mother said she already been taking antibiotics for 2 weeks and it's still like that. So I actually went to the washroom and I put a drop on you know how I just let it drop by itself, not squeezing the dropper, and let it on her mouth. And she was because of the taste, of course, the baby's face was like, ah! But anyways, shortly after that, I was amazed because shortly after that, the baby's nose started dripping. I mean, it was just dripping. So when that happened, then I went downstairs and I told the mother, I said, you know what? Look, her nose was unclogged already. And that was just it, just a tiny little, like I said, I didn't squeeze the dropper. I just let it drop into her mouth. That's it. But I didn't think it would work really. I didn't think it would allow the thing to unclog her nose. I never thought it would work that way faster, but that's what happened. That's personal experience because I give it to the baby myself. So I just want to add that. But again, we don't recommend it to children, so it's under your own discretion to as a parents. Okay, thank you. I just want to add that.
Thank you so much, Nora. All
Hey,
right,
Priscilla.
Renee.
Hi, Henry.
Yes,
Hi,
Renee.
Renee. Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome.
Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning.
I thought I'd just add to that as well, just because I've had, of course, my own son who was actually, unfortunately, born with really bad eczema. So, Rex, when he was growing up, his elbows, behind the knees, his ears were always sliced open, top and bottom, and his belly, he'd always be scratching it. So there's basically blood everywhere. All his clothing, there'd be blood marks because he kept scratching. So, we tried everything. And the one thing that we didn't want to try, of course, was the steroid creams, because we knew that with steroid creams, once they get kind of on it, it works, yeah, but again, it's not an actual fix per se, because once you stop using it, problem comes back, and then now you gotta use more and more and more. So when Rex turned 8, that's when Fountain of Life had roughly come out, 2018. So yeah, but because he's about 8 or 9 years old then, and so I just basically gave him, again on parents' discretion, 8 drops, 8 drops every day. And of course, it's funny because my wife, she had no idea. In fact, Heidi didn't want me to give the drops because she didn't really understand what it was, and I had already by that point in time spent so much time studying into exactly what is Fountain of Life, what are lignans, all the great stuff. And so, 3 weeks later, because it was February when FOL came out. And so 3 weeks later, what's really interesting is I, realized that Rex at that point in time hadn't actually asked me for his cream that he usually said, when we used to shower, we put on some cream. And I realized that weeks had gone by and I kind of forgot to put it on him, also because he didn't ask me for it. And so I realized, oh my goodness. So I said, Rex, come over here and lift up your elbow, like pull up your sleeve to your shirt. And that's when I was absolutely just like flabbergasted, because all of his eczema, like 8 years of redness, bleeding, all that stuff had completely gone away. I mean, completely gone, as if his skin never even had eczema. And he doesn't have eczema anymore. So since using FOL on Rex, of course, then I started giving it to my even younger son, which is Leon, and he's about, he was about 6 at that time. And so, yeah, I mean, every morning, even till now, they're now, wow, time flies, 11 and a half and 13, and I still give them their drops every morning. And so, and I've heard other stories of people giving to their grandbabies because they had eczema, put like 1 or 2 drops in the milk, they drank it, and again, eczema gone. But I thought I also explain why, the reason why, again, we don't say we can recommend it, because according to Health Canada regulations, most natural health products, you just cannot say it's for breastfeeding women, pregnant women, or of course, even in this case, children. However, that's just like a blanket overall rule that we have to use here in Canada. But again, as a parent, I decided to give it to my child on my own discretion, and I'm glad that I did. So I hope that helps. Yeah, back to you, Gisela and Henry.
Wow, thank you so much, Renee, for tuning in and sharing that with us. I know you have shared a lot of times of how Fountain of Life has helped with your boys when it comes to that issue. And yes, we constantly reiterate that it is, as a parent, it is our decision to give our children FOL once they're below 12 years of age. So I just want to make sure I reiterate that's what Renee's also sharing, that it's his decision that he took upon himself to give that to his son, and it has helped him tremendously. So thanks again, Renee. I think Austin wanted to share. So Austin, can you kindly unmute and you can share with us? I saw that you tried to share earlier, so you can unmute. Okay, not sure if it was a mistake or not, but if it was, that's okay. Thank you, everyone. I can see everyone in the chat saying thank you so much. We really do appreciate you. I do apologize for the background noise on my end, as my schedule has changed. I have to host the calls in a cafe now in Oshawa as I drop my daughter off to university. I would not be able to get home back in time to host the call. So I just wanted to make sure that I'm able to fit in everything. So I apologize for that. And I thank you all so much for being so understanding and your patience. And I see that Austin hands is up. So Austin, you've unmuted, and please go ahead. If you're trying to share something with us, feel free to do so.
No, it's not a matter of share. I just want to ask a quick question.
Go ahead.
How was this product discovered? And who discovered it?
Yeah, I could take that question if you want, Gisela.
Wonderful. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So basically, the story behind Fountain of Life is our main scientist who discovered Fountain of Life. He was actually asked by his wife in his home in Finland to cut down this tree that was blocking the light into the kitchen. And it's a beautiful Norwegian spruce tree. And so, of course, he cut the tree down. And what happened was, even days afterwards, he noticed that some of the broken branches of the tree that were on the floor were still alive days later. Because most trees, when you cut the branch off, the branch immediately starts to wither and to rot and to dry out. But this one here, it kept looking green and lush, still alive. So he ended up taking one of the branches, wrapped it up, and actually put it into his freezer and kind of forgot about it. So years later, when the wife was cleaning out the freezer, she basically found this branch he had wrapped up and went to the husband and said, hey, do something with this, or we're going to go and I'm going to throw it away. So when he unwrapped the tree branch from the freezer, he noticed that the broken end of the branch had actually grown a new layer and was still alive. So he thought, wow, that's incredible. Like, what's so special about this particular Norwegian spruce tree that is able to heal itself? So it turns out, of course, it's a self-healing tree. He found out that it's a disease-free tree. So a lot of trees, some bugs like to sort of eat at the tree, and trees can get sick. But this is a tree that, it's a pestilence-free tree. It's a disease-free tree. And it's a self-healing tree. And they actually call it the eternal tree. And so, of course, the next step was, well, how do we go and, extract what's this special thing about this tree. And so upon further research, he found out that it was basically lignins that are actually available in all of our fruits and vegetables. However, to a very, very, very small amount. I'm talking about not even 1%, not even 0.1% or 0.01% of the lignins you get in the Norwegian spruce tree. And so, however, if the lignins came from a tree, the other benefit compared to lignins from flaxseed is that they have antimicrobial and antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties. So the main one being anti-inflammatory. So basically, in short, Fountain of Life became the world's most powerful natural plant antioxidant, antimicrobial, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory. It can balance your hormones for men and for women. That's why, of course, all these testimonials. But yeah, that's sort of how it was discovered, was from a scientist cutting down a tree that was blocking the light into the kitchen. Hope that helps.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We're very blessed to have it.
Henry.
Yes.
I have some legal question to ask. It's not about the product anymore. Can I still ask it in this segment?
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a few things I want to clear up. Do we need an export or import license for this product in Jamaica?
No, you don't. You just the company will send it to you, and then you will clear customs. That's it. So you don't need an official license. I think Renee can relate to that.
Yeah, that's a great question there, Andrew. So in short, every country, almost every country, I'd say 99% don't require an import license because we ship it essentially for personal use reasons. There's only like one or two countries out of all the countries I can tell you that actually require to have an import license, because they just say any health product outside of, for example, Vietnam is one of them. Vietnam says any health product coming in, doesn't matter if it's for personal use or for business, you must have an import license. But no, Jamaica definitely does not require one.
Okay, great. Another question. What label would they ship this under? Like you have a car, you said, okay, you're importing motor car. What label would this be under? Medical, food, what is it? So
there's usually two that might be used, and these are like tariff codes, I'm assuming that you're talking about. So generally, most countries will take Fountain of Life as a natural food source because it's from like a tree, right? I mean, we eat apples that grow on trees, and so in most cases, it's a natural food source. In some other instances where the country has, some countries will open the packaging and start to look at what it is, and they might declare it as a nutritional supplement. So it's either usually a food source or a nutritional supplement, one of those two.
Okay. Yeah.
Great question. Yeah, definitely not a drug because again, we in Canada, just so you know, if you're a drug, you have a DIN number, like a DIN number, a drug ID number. And if you are a natural health product, you have an NPN number, which is natural product number. So we have an NPN number. And so most countries also understand that Canada has these two distinguishments. So they kind of accept it as a food source or a natural supplement, but definitely not a drug. Yeah.
Okay, great. I was just concerned about those issues, but since you're cleared it up now, I understand fully.
Great. So yeah, any questions you have, yeah, go ahead.
So we don't need any bill of lading or airway bills and stuff like that. The company will deal with everything like that, right?
Oh yeah. So when we ship it, we usually use, the big couriers, FedEx, UPS, DHL, or even Canada Post sometimes. And of course, all of the airway bills, stuff like that, it's prepared by the company. So we actually include a packing slip in every order. And yeah, so that's what the company does behind the scenes to make it very seamless for all of our customers and partners to get their product. So that stuff there is definitely handled by the company for sure.
Okay. Okay, well, that answered most of my question that I was a little bit concerned about.
Great.
Yes.
Any other questions, just go ahead and contact, your My5 or Henry or myself, and we're more than happy to answer all your questions.
Okay.
All right.
Henry.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Henry.
Yes.
Can you recheck to see if, because I think on my email it said the first one I did went through. Can you check to see if I'm a member?
Oh, you wonder. Oh, okay. Okay, I will check for you. I'll check for you. All right.
Because I would like to have some samples purchased right away to make sure that it worked for me, and if it worked for me, it will work for them. But I have to be the person who's going to test it. You know what I mean?
Okay, great. We'll check your.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Austin, for your questions. Very interesting, and we're glad that you got your answers this morning. So we thank you for being part of our call. Thank you, everyone. We are 17 minutes past the hour, but of course, it's always an interesting session. So much to learn, so much to share. Just want to remind you, please continue to take your Fountain of Life every single day. Don't forget to take your drops. Also use your journal. Make sure that you can utilize your journals as you're taking Fountain of Life to make sure you update yourself with, just the changes in our body. Maybe you're not seeing any, that is all great. I absolutely love our daily use product. That's how it works to protect and preserve our health daily. So we'll see you on next week's call. I am not hosting the next week's call as I will be traveling. I'll be in Guyana that time, and we have our other host that will be taking the call over. Make sure to come back 8 a.m. Eastern time, that's Eastern time, and bring your questions, bring your testimonials, share with us. And of course, we have our qualified practitioners here. We have Mr. Henry Zhang, we have Hanmei, and we also have our LD4, Mr. Neliao, that will answer all your questions that you have when it comes to Fountain of Life or other. Take care, everyone. And always remember, we are one team, one dream, and to the billions. See you, everyone. Take care. See you on the next call. And I will also see our partners at headquarters this afternoon as we have our 7 p.m. Showcase tour and our 7:30 p.m. business tour. So see you there at headquarters this evening. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. And thank you so much, Henry. And thank you, Renee, very much for being on the call and always assisting in our questions. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.